Welcome back to the channel. My name is David Osuji, your psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. Today, we are staying with the subject of labels. In the previous video, we talked about how labeling can help us with emotional awareness. Today, we will focus on how labels can limit us. And when I say labels, I mean those words that get attached to us by ourselves or by other people. Labels can seem harmless, but they often shape how we see ourselves and how other people see us. And sometimes they can keep us stuck, believing that we are only this or that. Labels are everywhere. They're the terms we use to organize our world. Examples are introvert, extrovert, athlete, nerd, anxious, depressed, husband, wife, child, employee, professor. The list goes on and on. And while they can help us understand certain parts of ourselves, they can also act like cages. They can lock us into one identity, limiting who we believe we can be. Think about this. How many times have you heard someone say, "I'm just not a people person," or "I'm not creative," or "I'm not a singer," or "I'm always anxious"? It is as if they're saying that's all they'll ever be. And maybe you do this as well. We carry labels for so long that they start to feel like a part of who we are. Well, here's the problem. When we hold on to these labels too tightly, they start controlling our behavior and who we actually are. Let's take the example of someone who's always been called the smart one. At first, that label might feel like a compliment, but over time, it can start to create pressure. They might avoid taking risks or trying out new things because they're afraid of failing and losing that smart one label. Similarly, someone who's labeled as the anxious one might start to believe that anxiety is just who they are, instead of seeing it as something they can manage or overcome with effort and practice. When we let labels stick, they become walls around us. They keep us in a box where we feel safe, but we're also stuck. Over time, we start living out these labels, and they affect not only how we think about ourselves, but also how we behave on a day-to-day basis. So, how do we break free from labels? The first step is to remember that no single word can define who you are. We are all works in progress. Each one of us has the power to grow, learn, and change. Labels might describe something about you, but it is not the full story. One simple way to start breaking free is by changing how we talk to ourselves. Instead of saying, "I'm an anxious person," try saying, "I'm feeling anxious right now." Instead of saying, "I'm not creative," try saying, "I'm learning to be more creative." This small change in language reminds us that we're not set in stone. Feelings are temporary states, and we can grow to become more than we currently are. Another step is to become aware of the language we use about ourselves. Every time you catch yourself saying, "I am," followed by a limiting label, you have an opportunity to pause and question that. Ask yourself, is this label helping me or is it harming me? Is this label helping me to grow or is it holding me back? For example, "I am depressed" makes you embody that identity of being a depressed person. How about switching it up with something like, "I feel depressed"? Guess what? Feeling depressed is a feeling, it's an emotion, it's transient, and eventually you stop feeling depressed. Finally, remember that you're more than one label. You are a mix of many experiences, thoughts, and abilities. Life isn't about being one thing or another. It's about constantly learning and evolving. Labels are just a snapshot. They don't define the whole picture of who you are or who you can be. So let's start seeing each other, and more importantly, seeing yourself as more than just one label or a label. Let's choose to look beyond these words and see the real person with all their potential to grow and change and become something new. Let us take the labels off, so to speak, and give ourselves the freedom to be who we want to be. Thank you for listening. If this message has been beneficial to you, please like and subscribe and share it with someone who you think will benefit from it. See you in the next video.